is phenomenal. You never know what the final image is going to be till the end.
It's not just about the painting, it's everything else involved that makes it so fantastic.
Like a game show, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat going, what is it? What is it? Oh my gosh, it's that.
Malibu, thank you guys so much for joining me this evening. Once again, I am David Garibaldi, and what you're about to experience is something I call Rhythm and Heal. But tonight, I'm gonna need your help. I'm gonna need a little bit of energy from you. Is that okay? And I'm gonna need a lot more noise. Is that okay? This is not gonna be like any other speaking series you've been to. Is that all right? Let's have some fun. guys still feeling all right? I mean, now that I got my daily workout in, good night. All right, that's the only reason I do this now, to get my workout in for the day. But no, thank you guys so much. I love this intimate setting. I'm not used to this, so you guys bring a lot of energy. Thank you guys so much for that. Now, this has been quite the, we'll call it a very messy journey. Matter of fact, by the end of the show, front row, you will begin to know what that means. No, really, that used to be the best place to sit until you come to my show. And then, so tonight what'll happen is you'll go home, you'll be looking in the mirror. Is that blue paint on my face? Just a little water, it'll get it off. But if it gets on your clothes, I have a dry cleaner that's now available. She quit. I don't know why, actually. I have no idea. I brought my weekly pile of clothes to her, and she's like, David, I can't do this anymore. It's too much paint, too many shows, too many clothes. I was like, are you quitting on me? And anyways, we argued back and forth. I stopped her. I looked her in the eyes and said, look, Mom, I will be in my room. We'll talk at dinner. But no, it's been quite the journey. I actually started doing paintings a lot faster than these, depending on the situation. Now, let me explain. It was graffiti, which is illegal. But I was young at the time, living in Sacramento, California. I was actually born in LA. But I grew up in Sacramento. So clap. It's okay. It's okay to clap. Don't worry. But there was one night that presented two very different scenarios to me. It started with the clicking of spray cans, and it ended soon with the sound of sirens. So I was out with my friends painting on these walls by these trains, and in the distance we heard whoop. And we saw this shadow of a law enforcement, I was guessing. But he got down, like he was getting ready for the pursuit. Like he went down to tie his shoes. I think he had tearaway pants. And he just took off running after us. So we were running. And there was this 8-foot stone wall between two very different scenarios. The obvious, going home with the track star policeman. The other, making it on the other side of this wall. And hopefully, being able to make some new decisions beyond that point. Hopefully. So I made it over this wall. I told myself a few things, very, very important things. The first thing was, David, you need to lose weight. I'm very out of breath. The second was a question. What are you doing with these friends that are putting you in situations where you're running from the police to do art? The third was another question. It was, David, what are you doing with this creativity that was given to you? You didn't ask for it. You didn't buy it. You stole some things, but you didn't steal that. So what are you doing with this creativity given to you? This answer came in the form of my high school animation teacher, Mr. Sullivan. Now let me describe Sullivan. He's about 10 feet tall, fiery red, burning hair, and beaming red eyes. And I feel like when I walked into his classroom, he could see into my soul of everything I had painted and stolen before. But that's how I felt. But then he began to talk. He's like, man, I really love that graffiti you do. I'm like, really? Is this a setup to you gonna call the police next? Or it's like, no, I really love it. It's who you are. He said, look, I don't want to change who you are. That's what you were created to do. I just want to change the why. I just want to present an opportunity for the where you create and why. So he presented this option for me. He said, David, the more time you spend in the classroom creating, the less time you spend in the streets painting. So I took him up on this deal. And I began to learn the art of storytelling, how to cut and edit sound. And I was also learning these life lessons no one had ever talked to me about before in the streets. Besides, pack up your bags, the police are coming. It was about dreams, aspirations, about being tenacious, about going after the things in your heart as crazy as they are, like jumping around, throwing paint, and sweating on stage. That crazy. Thank you. Whew. You guys are like, no, that's crazy. You shouldn't. I don't know why I did that. That crazy. And so I'd taken these things that Sullivan had taught me and instilled in my heart. And I thought, okay, I'm on this new track now. It's my senior year of high school. I thought, I want to be this artist, this animator. I'm going to go to art school. And then a reality check came. my counselor called me in the office. She sat me in the chair in the corner, the chair that she tells the students that they're not going to graduate on time. That chair. I had that talk. And it was, David, you're not going to graduate. I know you're on this new path now, but it's not going to happen. Start making some new plans for after high school because it's not going to be easy. So there I was now after high school working odd jobs. I was, everything from like working at Abercrombie and Fitch to like a family business. But my last real job that I eventually got fired from, I was a phone banker. Like, two things that don't go together besides oil and water: artists and money. And specifically managing it. People would call and they'd, ask for their balance, and they're like, what's my balance? And I'm like, you have about $100 in there. It's around there. I like to round it up for them, make them feel better. And obviously that wasn't what I was supposed to do, so they fired me. And I remember being alone in my little one-bedroom apartment that wasn't that big. It was about the size of the canvas. It was very small, little tiny studio apartment. But I remember just sitting there and just thinking to myself, what's the one thing that hasn't been taken away from you? Because my car had just been repossessed. I was about to be evicted from this little tiny apartment. I'd just been fired. And so I thought, what is the constant in my life? This creativity, this thing that I didn't ask for. It was given to me. I had stole some things, but I didn't steal that. It hadn't been taken away. So I thought, I have to get serious now about this. I'm 20 years old. I dusted off some paints that I had never touched in my life. I set up, and actually went and bought my first paintbrushes in canvas legally. I didn't steal them this time. And I set them up in my little one-bedroom apartment while I was still in there. And I began to teach myself how to paint. But now, as fast as I was learning how to paint, I was also going broke at light speed. That's really fast. That's really broke, by the way. It's like, I got to start selling these paintings. So I went to places where people were into art and music. I went to jazz clubs and nightclubs, and I would set up my little easel. I would do these paintings about this big, about an hour or so. To me, that was fast. It's still fast. And they were selling, but I thought, I'm on this new journey now. I wanted to see the world in a new way, seeing something bigger. So now that I'm seeing the world this way, I was at a friend's house, much larger apartment, about the size of the carpet. It was huge, 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 huge place. But I remember across the room, there was this painting. And when you walked up close to it, it was just splattered and splashed paint. And then when you stepped back, it was this amazing portrait of Jimi Hendrix. And I asked my friend, I said, who's the artist that splashed this together, but it still looks like Jimmy? And he told me the artist's name was Denny Dent. Now, Dent was the father of this performance painting style. He was the first quote-unquote rock and roll painter. I was so inspired. I didn't need to see video. I didn't need to see photos. I was convinced by just being so inspired by this image of, and thinking about the passions in my life that led up to that point. Playing music growing up, getting into dance in high school, and obviously this fast movement painting from graffiti, which also involves sweating when running from the police. And so the next day, I was living with my dad now at the time, and I was in his garage throwing paint around, hoping it would look like anything. And eventually, my dad would come outside because he was concerned, naturally, his son throwing around paint, and he would stare at the wall for a while, and he would be like silent. I'm like, no, Dad, tell me, what do you think? He was like, no, Dave, that is an amazing Chewbacca. I love it. I was like, well, that's supposed to be Madonna, but I could kind of see the Chewbacca influence in that now that you point that out. There was a lot of work ahead. So I would just stay in this garage and just practice nonstop. There was no school to go to. I eventually saw this video of Denny Dent. It was a short clip, but nothing like, there's no instructions on this. This was a new path, a new art form that was developing. So there I am in my dad's garage, throwing paint around, hoping it would look like anything. But eventually, I was performing on stages instead of the back of these same bars. And I began traveling and doing these shows. I would do any show. I mean, from like a church to a corporate event to elementary school, wherever I could get this experience in to create these paintings. But at the same time, I was seeing the same reaction from these different audiences, from the 5-year-old elementary school students to the 50-year-old corporate heads, this same captivation with seeing that art is this process that's captivating people and putting it together in this entertaining way. Now, what I also noticed is at these same shows that you saw, just like this, painting created in minutes, that we would auction these paintings off. And the paintings were going for tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes up to $50,000 before they're dry. So I thought, and I asked my team, I said, look, guys, we have this really unique platform here. We're able to take a few $100s in materials, doing what we love, but also using these few $100s to bring value to other people's lives, to very, very important causes, from Special Olympics to California Police Youth Charities, American Heart Society, the list goes on. So I thought, let's not just keep living along. Let's not just throw paint along the way and hope it lands somewhere. Let's be purposeful with where we throw this paint and why. Let's change the purpose behind what we're already doing. So I set this goal. I said, let's raise $1 million for nonprofit organizations and charities by the time I turned 30 through the auctioning and sales of this artwork. I wanted to, hopefully you've been entertained so far tonight with the painting. Has it been entertaining so far? I enjoy making the paintings entertaining. I love it. But I still felt in my heart it had to be more. And so we started seeing this. We got closer to this goal. We got to, 100,000, $250,000, $500,000. We're traveling around the world doing these events. Obviously, the audiences weren't as good looking as you. So Malibu, you win in that. Like, how does everyone have a tan? I don't get that. Like, it's amazing how you guys all do that. And I remember we were about $30,000 away. I was in my hometown of Sacramento, and I told the audience about this goal that I had, this dream, this new purpose behind this performance painting. And I said, tonight if we raise $30,000, we'll meet this goal, representing all these people coming together around the world to raise money towards amazing causes. So the first painting that went up for auction, $30,000, and we met that $1 million goal before I had turned 30 on this journey. And so I began to think about the passions that live inside each and every single one of us. They can be creative, competitive, charitable, profitable, scientific, mathematic, whatever it is. The YouTube world we live in today, you can take a tutorial about anything. I tried to change a car battery, which I still don't know why I wasn't able to do it. I don't know. But if you can go on YouTube and learn anything. But it's the why, it's the purpose behind it that begins to change the world around you. We begin to see that. Now, I do have some more paintings for you. Is that okay? Can I give you some more? Now, on this journey, reporters always come and ask me, what do you call this show? I said, well, I call it Rhythm and Hue. It's music and color. I said, that's cool, but, how does it work? Well, I set up some brushes, some paints, a canvas. I turn on the music and let the music help me paint the portrait. I said, okay, I get that, but at these shows, how do the crowds react? And I said, well, normally, we're in places like New York City. They're pretty loud. When we go to Sydney, Australia, they make some noise. Tokyo and everywhere in team. But I wonder what I'm gonna say when I say, how was Malibu, California? I'm gonna say they made so much noise. So Malibu, can I give you some more tonight? I know this isn't your normal speaker series. We're gonna continue the fun, and I have some more to share. But this next painting embodies when you find this thing that you're so passionate about, that nothing should stop that path, nothing should stop you from following it, and nothing should stop you from applying this purpose behind it that starts to change the world around you. Let's go.
just a divine rush, and I believe it's so. Inside of my heart, inside of my heart, inside of my heart, inside of my heart, and the fever begins to spread from my heart down to my legs, but the room is so quiet. And although I wasn't losing my mind, it was a chorus so sublime. The room is too quiet. I was looking for a breath of life, a little touch of heavenly light, but all the choirs in my head say no. To get a dream of a life again, a little vision of the sun and the air, but all the choirs in my head say no.
You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something. I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life, when I was 20. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking, and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Stay hungry, stay foolish. It was their farewell message as they signed off. Stay hungry, stay foolish. And I have always wished that for myself. And now, as you graduate to begin anew, I wish that for you. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you all very much.
You guys so much. I love it. The one person you would think that doesn't need to do anything. Early on when he got fired from the company he founded, he still found his way back home, within that home being that passion, that thing that he talked about, that thing that you love. And when I say that those passions live inside each and every single one of us, it's absolutely true no matter what it is. You know, I would have loved to have come up here and talked about my process of how I throw the paint, but that's not what I eventually learned what this platform was for. It was for me to grow as a person, for me to be challenged to say, is this something that you truly love so much so, will you step up to any adversity that comes your way for it? So at one point, about 8 years into doing this full time, 100 shows a year, already have traveled around the world, I thought I had achieved everything I could being a performance painter. And then there's America's Got Talent. We were talking to the producers before we went on the show. I said, great, all I need is 6 minutes to do these paintings. That's all I need. I'll be good. They're like, that's great, but you get 90 seconds. 90 seconds as in a minute and a half? 90 seconds as in a minute and a half. That's all you get. I mean, you could sing a note in a few seconds and that person can sing. You could do a few dance moves and that person's got rhythm. You have to wait 90 seconds to find out if someone could actually paint. Had never done this before. I mean, the fastest I had ever done a painting was maybe 4 minutes. Because to me, this wasn't about speed painting. This wasn't about creating a painting as fast as I could. This was about making art an entertaining process. Really, no matter how long that took. Just so happens I like to do it around 6 minutes. So I went into my studio. I had 3 months to prepare. Now I could have been like, no, I'm good. I'm already doing shows. I don't need the exposure. I don't need the business. I don't need the challenge. As I caught myself saying that, I knew I was already lying to myself. Because I already knew how much I love this. And then when any adversity comes your way, it tries to come between what you love, you stand up to it. So I stood up to it in the form of going to my studio every day for 3 months. It's 90 days. Imagine doing something every day and you don't get any closer to when you had started, to when you had never. I felt like I was learning how to paint for the first time. My first painting that we did on the show was Beethoven. Beethoven was looking a lot like Chewbacca when I had started. I remember I tried it with my hands. I tried with these brooms. Because not only did I want to do this painting in time, it still had to be a quality portrait. It still had to be an entertaining process. So we had about a week left. No lie. We had a week left until these auditions that I had already committed to. I don't know why. And I remember we got these sponge pads from Home Depot. It was like the last resort. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just use these. And we started working with them. Like, I think I see Beethoven. Started working some more. And eventually we started developing. I say we because normally artists are used to working by themselves and I'm used to working by myself. I had to, get a team to really support me. Not only a team to help me paint, which were the dancers that joined me on the show, but a team to critique. people to come and say, like, David, you suck right now. Get it together. Because I wanted to grow. I wanted to stand up to this adversity. So eventually, we do the audition. We still don't know how it's going to go. It's never been done before. And luckily, I didn't hear any buzzards that I know of. Because I just stood there like, woo, it's done. We got a standing ovation from the judges and from the attending audience, which was amazing. And then we went off to do Vegas, and I'm like, great, we got through this. We have like 5 more rounds to go now. Doing something we had never done before. So we make it to Vegas, and we said, okay, we started with this normal size portrait, 6 foot by 5 foot. Let's go a little bit bigger. So we did this 8 foot painting in 90 seconds. Each time I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try. We made it through to the quarterfinals. Now this one, we're like, we can't keep giving them what they've seen before. Again, even challenging yourself. No one's sitting there telling me, David, you've got to come up with something new. It was myself and my team saying, how can we grow? What will help us grow through this process? So we thought, okay, let's get away with the canvas. No more canvas. Plexiglass. It's a completely different canvas. Not it's been done before, but not in this entertaining way. So we're painting it. Eventually, we're doing the live show. We're painting it to the thinking, okay, it's like going to be a normal portrait. At the end, we spray it all black. You hear this gasp from the audience. We turn it around and we were painting in reverse the whole time. So again, now we have 2 more rounds. If we make it to the next round, we thought, okay, what is the absolute hardest thing we could do on this show? I was like, we have to go bigger. Like, we have to go completely big. And I remember that time when I was sitting in my little 1-bedroom apartment and I just started teaching myself how to paint. I talked about I started seeing the world in a new way. That's when I came across the Denny Dent painting. The world starts showing you things where your heart is leading you. And I had that moment. And again, we start doing this Statue of Liberty painting. And it was this one single canvas. I was like, we gotta separate this. So what we ended up doing was this 16-foot tall Statue of Liberty in 90 seconds. If you guys go on YouTube, I'm sure there's some lovely comments on there too. Lovely. I love YouTube comments. That's actually another very motivating factor to go on there. I'm like, all right, what do I need to work on today? Stop jumping around. It's annoying. Okay. He sweats too much. Get in shape. All right. So that was. If you want to leave some comments, I will read those at some point. But eventually we make it to the finals, and I'm telling my team, look, at this point, it really wasn't about if we had won. Just encouraging, we had come so far doing what we had loved and really not knowing what was going to happen next, but we just put everything that we had into what we loved. We got comfortable with being uncomfortable every single time. So eventually the final round, we did the Einstein upside down and we lost to a dog act. It's cool. I'm not not bitter. It's cool. It's totally normal to cry for 2 years straight, right? That's normal? No? Okay, yeah. But we learned so much, and after that we ended up traveling around the world. But the point of that whole journey was standing up to this adversity, welcoming it, knowing that the adversity was going to push me to grow, to challenge me. Am I going to give up on what I love, or will I grow? Will I love it even more, no matter what happens? So I don't know what brought any of you into this room today. I don't know if you saw a tweet about it or if I was like spamming about it on Instagram. But wherever you go to after this, the one thing that I hope that you would take away from the show is that when you're driving home or even tonight before you go to bed, just wherever you're at in your journey, and think about your journey as a portrait. Each brushstroke representing a decision, a dream. You know, maybe you're halfway through your portrait. I know I've been halfway through my portrait and changed it a few times. But think about, where are you at in your journey creating your portrait? And think about, am I using what I love? Am I using this passion that comes natural to me, whether it's creative, competitive, charitable, whatever that is? And if you have the opportunity to use your daily platform to start changing the world around you, apply that purpose behind it. Now, for mine, it was just, it was to do something for charity. Yours may be completely different. But just think about how I can apply that purpose to my passion. Now, we do have time for one last painting. Is that okay? But before I do, can I take a moment to thank each and every single one of you guys. Can you give yourselves a round of applause? Thank you so much for coming tonight. I gotta say a few things. The first thing is, if you have any questions about the paintings afterwards, Dave, raise your hand. Wave your hand. There he goes. Let's talk to Dave. He knows more about the paintings than I do. I just paint them and make the mess. Also, if you're on social media, please follow at Garibaldi Arts. I'm sure you'll see some photos from today, but also you can tag me if you took any photos or video from today. Feel free to upload those. How are you? Are you following me on? What was it? Shady Bell 81. I know. I replied. See? Thank you. Testament. Thank you. I will actually reply if I can. But please go ahead and follow, tag, and also after this we will be doing a meet and greet in a room next door. I would love to meet you, get some either paint or sweat on you. Either one, whatever happens. So you guys ready for this last painting? Let's go! Just keep that going.
Out here in the fields, I thought for my meals. I get my back into my living. I don't need to fight to prove I'm right, and I don't need to be forgiven.
Don't stop now. Stop that. Did you guys enjoy yourselves this evening? Thank you so much to the Malibu Speaker Series for having me today. Thank you guys so much for coming. I am David Garibaldi. And one more time, can I hear you make some noise?